goods and equipment being brought in from Europe, and thus Vermanbrock was established. Now, 127 years later, we still aim to provide you with an affordable variety of products at easily accessible supermarkets along the coast and in the north of Namibia. Your Verman, your specials, your supermarkets.
Luister, Duitser. Jy moet ophou hierso kom sit, nee.
Die baas maak my nervous, man.
Nee, jy moet ophou hierso kom sit and just pronounce words wrong. It's not Verman. It's Voerman.
It's Verman.
It's Voerman. Dis nie Verman nie. Los hy Duitse besigheid. Ja. Chris, asseblief, sê tog hierdie Duitser wat hierso sit. Dis Voerman. Voerman en Brock. Nie Verman nie.
Ek sal my herinner.
So Verman and is it Verman and Brock or Verman Brock?
Vermanbrock.
Verman Brock.
We're two guys. One was something, his surname was Verman, and the other guy's surname was Brock.
Okay. So the lineage that we have today of the group,
Yes.
are there still bloodlines left in Namibia at the moment?
I think so.
Ne?
Yes, they do. They have Gabi Worman and
There you go.
Yeah.
Yes.
There you go. Okay. So it's a legacy that started in 1894. It's 127 years.
Yes.
It's probably third generation Vermans now.
Yeah, they survived the genocide over it.
Yes. The Herero
How
genocide.
come? What happened?
Ek het hierdie Duitser gesê. I drove with Manny through Rebot on Sunday. Daai basters is klip hard gebak daar. Hy baster sê vir my, luister hierso Neville, ons moet hierdie duisters, ons moet vir hulle compensation betaal, want ons het vir hulle gebliksem daar by Samkubes. Ja, die Heroes, hulle moet die Heroes betaal, ons sal vir hulle betaal, want ons het die oorlog gewen daar op Samkubes. Yeah.
What I love about the telephone book is if you go into Rehoboth and you see all the German surnames.
Oh!
No? Kleinschmidt.
Yeah. I've seen that.
Are we on air now?
Yes.
We've been on air the whole
Okay.
time.
On this score, I want to remind you guys. You know, when we debate things and we discuss things, we tend to forget what is the context that we do things in. Because nowadays we have a thing, I hear people talk about social media. I prefer to call it trigger media. So you put something on that you know will trigger someone else.
Yes.
There's nothing social about that. It's emotional media. So the actual problem is not the person who put things on, it's the person who forwarded it.
Yeah.
Because of his own fears, his own angst, or his own how
Opinion.
he chooses. Yes.
Yeah.
And that triggers, of course, a response.
Yeah.
But it's also not very attention capturing for a long time, unfortunately. Then they move on to other topics.
Yes.
I stopped yesterday. I drove into town and I stopped next to the Founding Fathers' office. There's a memorial there. Second World Memorial. On your right side and on the left is the first Windhoek Cemetery. If you now drive to State House from here.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, it commemorates Namibians, or that time maybe Southwestern, doesn't matter, but Namibians who participated in the First World War and sacrificed, and the Second World War. So I walked around a bit, see now who were these guys. There are the gravestones that you see there, next to the memorial. Is Tamara speaking? Or Veka?
Hou op man.
McGregor?
Right.
And all kinds of Namibian surnames. On the needle, there's a guy by the name of Tom Pattle. He's from Keetmanshoop. He became one of the most decorated Air Force pilots in the Second World War. We've got the DFC with a bar that is close to the Victoria Cross, which today is still the symbol of utmost bravery. But if you see it's First World War and Second World War, if the Germans want to be grateful in Germany, they must be grateful for two things. That Namibians at that stage assisted in getting a very evil regime like Hitler's out
Yeah.
of the world politics.
Yeah.
We assisted. 7,000 blacks went. Amongst them, Toivu ya Toivu, Kaukungwa. These people who fought in the Second World War. Gideon Laho, Old Morkel.
Tate ya Toivo fought in the Second
Yes.
World War.
Yes.
It's the first I hear of this.
Okay,
Wow.
but now it's the second.
No.
But the point that I'm trying to make,
Uh-huh.
that was before apartheid, that is before this.
Yes.
So we went to Europe, fought the war against Hitler. At that stage, the Nazi flag was in Windhoek, in front of the Tintin Palace, the post office. Hitler was already in charge. And his flag were,
Yeah.
the swastika were all over, in front of the Marintal Hotel. Now that we forget, our contribution in, as a Commonwealth, to defeat this.
Evil thing.
Yes, we forget that. If you go to the old cemetery just across the street, there's about 700 graves there. The majority is children who died in the 1918 flu,
Wow.
which is now like COVID. About 500 of those graves. There you will find Ortman, and so there was no apartheid. The graves were, as they picked up the people on the streets,
They buried them. Yeah.
So, and that was very recent. So my advice will be, if we drive to Marua Mall, Grove Mall,
Voormanbroek.
Wormanbroek, stop a bit, pay homage to those Namibians who laid down their lives,
Yeah.
left their families behind for
Yep.
4 years, going to Africa, places like Italy, just because they thought it was the right thing to do.
True.
It will be, it might, for me, it was an eye-opening moment
Yeah, no, I can
when
imagine.
I saw that.
Yeah.
And the graves are next to each other. It's up there and there, and it's next to each other. So I think that memorial should be treated with a little bit more of gratefulness
Yes.
for the
Yes.
Namibian nation's
That's the right word to use.
pursuance of justice since the beginning.
Yeah.
We also fought the Portuguese before the 1900s.
Mm.
At Onjiva and things like that, Mandume and those guys. So
Yeah,
I think our sense of justice is just one of those things.
that Portuguese war,
Yes.
that's the result,
Yes, with
sitting
the
over
Paiva.
there.
So I think
Yeah.
Maria must come sit here.
Yeah, there's
So-
that color that Maria has. That,
And you
Is
were
that
now
Portuguese?
talking about Woerman and Brock. I have a picture here where Voogds, the old Voogds of Voegsgrond and Maherero, is together on their horses on a hunting trip. That was in 1896. They were big friends, hunting together. Those days, if you hunt, you have a suit. Maherero
Yeah.
had that nice hat suit, and there they go on horses. So sometimes what we perceive and sometimes what we see, small things.
yeah.
I don't say I don't think it's mind changing. I just think it's also to consider.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So while you were talking of Woerman and Brock,
It's
It says a lot of a country.
Yeah.
If you have a few companies, Wormanenbroek, Vekkenvoogts, and still name a few,
Ottomeur.
that are over 100 years old. You don't get 100 years old through depression,
Vekkenvoogts.
2 world wars,
Yeah.
the Liberation War, independence,
A
all the
pandemic.
laws, pandemics,
Yeah.
if you are a weak company.
You're so right.
We can learn from it. We can learn from it.
Kalfi, before we continue with the show, you quickly need to give us the coronavirus
Okay.
numbers
Right.
very quickly.
Okay, the coronavirus cases 128,859 registered cases with 124,468 recovered. So we've got a very good recovery rate. In Namibia, 3,550 deaths, unfortunately. Active cases as of yesterday, 841. We had daily new cases 25, but that figure was on the 25th of October. Remember, it always lags. 0 deaths.
Dankie. That's
No deaths.
good news.
Yes.
Wow.
Ek het
Zero
net
deaths.
vergeet om vir julle een ding te vertel. Ek, Jacobi, was die eerste victim van die genocide na independence.
Yes.
There was a stage, and I think it's still ongoing. I just escaped it. Where white, middle-aged Afrikaners could have been shot at sight.
Exactly.
Because they were worked out of every system possible.
Ons moes
They
julle
were
klag
brought-
gemaak
They
het.
were brought under suspicion.
Yeah.
I survived. I survived the Liberation War. I survived the journalism. I survived independence. So the country to me was just generous so far.
As a European, African, German-speaking Namibian, I am on Chris's side. We've also been
Ons sal julle
ostracized. The Germans have been ostracized since
ons sal julle almal
1945.
groot op toestel.
Kyk, ek is veilig, né, want ek sien die deesdae.
Sankubis.
It doesn't matter on which side you are. I see nowadays if you are a woman and you have a cell phone,
Yes.
Aha.
you are a prostitute or you are a this
Yes.
or you are a that. I think that's even worse than what we went through. The things I see that are being said about women
Ja.
on social media makes the assaults against whatever I thought that time.
You know what I find?
Really, as a Sunday school picnic. I don't want to be a young woman, I especially don't want to be
Not in
beautiful,
Namibia.
because now if you're beautiful and you are young and you are successful,
Ja.
you are mentally disturbed. So that's something I've never heard in my life.
Ja, no. That's society for you today.
No, it's not society, it's parts of society. We
Ja,
must
but
sort
yeah,
that out,
parts
Triggerism.
of society.
No, we
Ja.
must sort that out. It
Yeah.
cannot be like that, guys.
No,
It
true.
cannot be like that.
Ja.
They
know what-
also become mothers, you know. They also become lovers of someone. You cannot do that.
Ja.
It's not just not right.
Very true. Very true. Kalfie,
Weather.
is 'n baie mooi weer hier buite.
Yes. The weather, whether there's weather or whether there's no
Tell
weather.
us more
Sê
lies.
vir ons, reën het
Hierdie
Ja.
Duitser, nee, for the last couple of weeks, nee,
lying.
he comes here with fake news.
It comes
In
from
the words
the
of
Namibian
Donald Trump.
weather people. I've got the
Fake
proof.
news. Fake
Eers gaan die weer
news.
af vertel ek jou 'n storie van die weer.
Chris always says, where do you get your sources from? Chris, this is from the meteorological people
Yes,
from
yes.
Namibia.
They walk out in the morning and
Yes.
they check and they come say what they think.
Okay, there's a warning, Chris. Heavy storms are expected in the Omaheke region and Tsumke constituency. Please take the necessary precautions.
There's no river near Tsum.
Okay, the interior
rain
partly
is going to
cloudy
be
and
heavy.
cool, partly cloudy and cool to warm but hot in the north with a few to isolated thundershowers, scattered thundershowers in the Omaheke region and the Tsumke constituency. A fresh, strong westerly wind in the southwest and west and also Elisenheim. The coast partly cloudy and cool to warm with a few showers in places.
Jy moet nie begin nie.
The maximum temperatures in Elisenheim today is 28 degrees. In Swakopmund 21, Walvis Bay 27. Do you see the difference between Swakopmund and Walvis Bay?
True.
21 in Swakop, 27 in Walvis
Wow.
Bay. Mhm.
Wow.
My favorite place, Omuthia, 33. Ondangwa also 33. Then we're going to Katima Mulilu in the Zambezi region, 32. Let's go to the central regions in Ochivarongo, 29. Keetmanshoop today, 30. And then let's go to the east of the country in Gubabis. Today it's 25 degrees Celsius, and that is your weather.
Okay,
Kofi, thank you very much.
I have to go, so I have to share the small story with you. In the 80s, the Agricultural Union decided to modernize a bit, to get into science, the NAU.
Oh, the NAU.
So they found a weather expert from Greece by the name of Katsiambirtas
My
to come and give a long-term outlook here in the theatre. So the farmers came from far and away to hear now to this expert from Greece. And the guy was sitting there and he was telling the farmers, look, this year, say from November, the rain will be like this, and it will be a good rain season. And some places it will be nice, some it will be hard. You know that the farmers were listening to this guy. One old guy stood up. He said, listen, you are now playing with things that it's only in the hands of God. I can see you are trying to take chances here. Just trying to please us. And the fight nearly broke out. And the meeting was disbanded. So in February, it did not rain as Katsiambirtas said. So the farmer said, bring that Greek, we want to hear
What he's got to say now.
what's happening.
Laat ek om Grieks praat.
So they put up the meeting. So the day before, Katsiambirtas took the aeroplane and he left Namibia. He never attended. I remember as a young reporter, when he started with that, I know now you are in a minefield, my brother. Rain in Namibia, no. Maybe today, but not in the 80s.
We will watch you, Kofi.
Yes, it's all good.
Yeah,
Watch
we have our little Cessna. It's warming up. Yeah.
Thank you, everybody. Have a nice day.
Kofi, thank you.
Okay,
Thank you
thanks,
very
Kofi.
much.
Well done, huh?
Yeah, thank you very much. Tuva, yeah, just come and sit in your chair. Come and sit in your
Chris
chair.
is leaving for 1 minute.
Uh,
Tuva.
Nee, goed, hoe gaat het? Hoe
You
kribbel?
can't sleep, mister.
Ja,
I told you go to bed.
oh ja. We had a late night
No, I
working.
told you go.
oh, okay.
News, you look
News.
too beautiful.
Thank you. News doesn't sleep.
Ah,
Where are you
it's
going
nonsense.
today? In court.
No, it's just
Yeah,
this
you
is a
look
tracksuit.
beautiful.
Thank you. This is a tracksuit. Tivier was a biggie. Look, my weather said 60% rain. Too sick. I must I must dress the part.
This woman also look well after herself. Always.
Thank you. Thank you.
Very nice.
Ag om Chris asseblief.
You see,
Yeah.
Kribo is the only person that gives me compliments.
My
Here I have to squeeze them out.
My wife is even following her dress code.
Hou op man.
Yes.
No, Maria always looks
thank you.
deur 'n ring
Yeah, but
getrek.
it's you take care.
Thank you. Thank
Then
you.
the rest
Kribo.
of the day, everything you do has got some care in it.
Very
you can
true.
see people, of course, you can see people who do that.
Yeah.
It's usually the ones who pick up the kids at school, who assist with homework.
Organized life.
It's a whole package. This is just how you get up. And then you will see when they go to bed, it's even worse. Because everything must be taken off, everything must be, yes. You lie there in the bed, you fall asleep for this preparation.
You have to make the bed before you get
Yes,
into
I
it.
love it.
Yeah.
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 No, welcome Welcome to the show this morning.
Yeah.
Kribo just he just popped in quickly to come and say hello
Yeah,
to
I
us.
was listening a little bit of the history lesson.
Yeah, Jelle wat ek ken nie. Yeah, you young
Now,
ones.
all of us who
This-
didn't know, I
I'm at
stopped there
2000s.
yesterday to make sure.
Yeah, yeah.
What the hell is this? And
Yeah.
I was surprised when I saw especially the flu thing. It's shocking to one grave after the other, especially children.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
passed on.
Succumbing. It's
Yeah.
really, if you see everything, 1918, 10 January, 12 January, then you can imagine how it looked at that small cemetery.
Yeah. I personally avoid cemeteries.
It's
It's
terrible.
not my place.
It's not
No.
your place.
Even funeral, I try to avoid the cemetery itself.
No,
Yeah,
I just stopped for because I wanted to find out what exactly is this.
No, alright.
Just for your little information, Tuva. Kyk, me, Frankie, we are at that age now. When somebody dies, ons gaan. We go to every service, we go to every
Is
funeral.
it because you want people to also come to yours?
Yeah, yeah.
You are bad from my because
Ek
it's not a
weet
joke place.
om Chris gaan ook nie daar nie.
Yeah, you think it's a joke, but I asked my mom once, because my mom, there's no wedding she misses, there's no funeral she misses.
Yeah.
So once I asked her, I was like, what is this thing of having to attend everybody's funeral, everybody's wedding? It's like, for two reasons. When you get married one day, because she obviously still has hope in that happening, she says, I need people around, because that's in my culture, I don't know, it's
Yes, it is.
the more it shows care and
Blessings.
significance and blessings. So you want people present. And funeral is exactly what I'm joking about. She said she also wants them to attend her funeral, but I mean they're dead already. So
No, it's a very clever, because the more people you attend, the best chances you have. The politicians should learn from that. Because the more you go to something, the more people might vote for you.
It's like
That's
that.
it.
It's
Yeah.
like that.
Guys, thank you for having me
All
for
right.
10 minutes.
thanks, Kiba. We'll talk
you
later.
are doing well. I enjoy your program.
Thank you. Thank you so much,
Don't-
Kribo.
And keep on trying to bully Maria. She's still
I can't be
on
bullied.
top of
Tell
you,
them.
that's what I
Yeah.
say.
Tell them I can't be
but
bullied.
never stop. Try. One day maybe. But
There
so
are
far you
certain
are
topics. There are certain topics that we know how we bully her.
So far you
We
are
know
behind.
what her triggers are.
And by the way, you asked me about abortion this morning.
Ach,
I told you there's a simple solution. Have a referendum.
daar
Easy.
sê. Daar sê.
Quick question. I don't know if it's too personal. Don't answer. But it's a point I'm trying to make, because I went around asking my wife, what age did your daughter go on the contraceptive?
My daughter is pro-abortion.
You know, I'm saying, no, forget the abortion. What age did she go on the contraceptive, like the pill or the injection or the
I
patch?
never wanted to know.
Oh, all right.
Because when Gellert called me one day and said, your daughter is now growing up, I said, stop. Because I now
Know what the
know
conversation
what
is.
can go
Yes.
wrong. So I said, no, you inform me as we go along. There are certain things. My daughter is so important to me, the image I have. I don't want it to
Be tainted
as that to me it's
for
a
your father,
pure,
yeah.
pure thumb.
Yeah.
Later on, we talked here and
Yeah.
there. I suspect if my wife is a guidance and
Yeah.
she's a headmaster, I suspected about 16. Say
Yeah.
grade 11,
Yes.
grade 12, where you can go to a party and something can go wrong. I think,
Yeah.
and I think that they kept as a secret.
Yeah.
And I think why they did that was a sort of a preemptive strike. If
Yes.
something goes wrong and your emotions run away with
Yes.
you, not to.
No, you're very correct. And sorry, we're gonna unpack this a little bit. But the reason I'm asking is, I had said this on air. I think on Friday, I said, in my over 15-year career in this industry, in media, I realized that here locally, I've never read of a baby dumping involving a white girl, or white teenager, or a white woman dumping a baby. And I wanted to understand that, because it's very prominent in like amongst us, And certain aspects, but one of the aspects that came up quite prominently, so I went around like white people, my colleagues here, and asked them. But one of the prominent aspects that came out is that a lot of them either went on contraceptive early or they have their daughters on contraceptive early. I mean, a lot of, without naming some of their colleagues here, they said their daughters, even though they're not sexually active, some daughters went on contraceptive at 14, even though they were not
Yes,
sexually
I know
active
that.
until much later. But that's how you mitigate unwanted pregnancies. And I find that very interesting aspect because in the black culture, we just don't talk about it. Parents don't talk about it. They think if they put you on the pill, they're encouraging you to have sex, which is, I don't understand that type of thinking. It's not correct. And also, there's a misconception, and it's a wrong, because if you go to a doctor, the doctor will tell you. But there's also a misconception that the longer you're on contraceptive, that it makes you infertile, that you're going to struggle to have a child, which is also not accurate.
Not true.
It's not true at all.
Science advanced.
Yeah, so I think at some point we need to start, especially amongst the black community, we need to start talking about family planning for children, for teenagers, like girls, especially when they enter adolescent, not necessarily because they're having sex, but just as a preemptive.
Yes, because it's emotional. You have to have
Yes.
emotion before you have
Yes.
sex.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Yes.
I suspect another thing. It's just like violence against women. A white woman don't want to report domestic violence to a black policeman, and I know what I now say is very controversial, because you don't want a black policeman to lock her husband up.
Even though he beat her.
Yes,
Oh, that's crazy.
that's one. Secondly, white girls who go to South Africa and have an abortion, an early or a late abortion, it is similar to baby dumping, except that it was done
Yeah.
under supervision.
Yes, exactly. That's why we want it to be legalized here, so that the impoverished can access it. Because now it's affluent families that
Yes,
both black and white,
of course.
black and white affluent families that can afford to take their kids to Cape Town for a family trip, but we know under the gist
And
of what.
ignorance, huh?
Yes.
People bring pills in from Zambia.
Yes, yes. And then the
everywhere
black
in the
market,
world,
absolutely.
and they give it to this person, and they drink it maybe too late, or and then it becomes
Then
a
it becomes
baby
a
dumping.
problem. Yes,
So I think we must unpack it a bit.
absolutely.
But this color thing on baby dumping and abortion, and especially if the white community comes closer and more honest about abuse. On Saturday afternoons when the husband's teams lose at the bride,
Yeah,
we can quickly form a united front
absolutely.
and beat violence against women soon.
Absolutely. I agree.
Okay.
All right. Thank you,
Okay,
Kribo.
the whites will not like this remark. Those who have problems can come to my house.
I
on
will
Saturday.
refer him. I will refer them to you.
Yeah, do.
Yeah,
do.
third floor.
Jy is
I know me.
uitgeskop uit die boeregemeenskap
Will
uit.
not be the first time.
Is klaar uit die kerk uit. Ja.
Morning Tuva.
Morning.
Yeah. So how did you sleep? Hou op met jou valsigheid asseblief. Ja, stop jou nonsense.
Coffee, alsjeblieft, dear, when you're leaving. Oom Kribo forgot to close it. Sorry, guys, if I'm screaming in my mic.
No problem, no problem.
All right.
I have
Yeah.
An
appointment.
exactly 40 to 45 minutes.
Yeah.
I need to be out of the studio because I have doctor's appointments for my daughter at 10 o'clock.
Yeah. Is she okay?
No, she's fine. The thing is just that because of this injury that she's had
Yeah.
all year, the shoulder injury, she can't play tennis now.
Yeah.
So as a result, we've been to specialists in, specialists out, because they can't seem to find what the problem is. So there's a specialist that we need to go and see at around 10 o'clock, so
Yeah.
we can take it in from there. So,
Yeah.
but it's my son's birthday today.
Happy birthday. Which one?
That
It's Madrino. So.
yeah. It's one of the ones who try to chat you up.
No, they didn't
years
challenge.
ago.
They chat me up through you. Hulle sal nie by my straight gaan.
Yeah.
Kinders is kinders.
He's 23 years old today.
Oh, happy birthday.
Yeah,
What's his name?
His name is Kanu.
Oh, Kanu. Oh, is it
Yeah.
Kanu that's 23? Happy
Yeah.
birthday, Kanu.
Yeah,
If
so
you're
it
watching.
is. Their mother has a tradition. Every time, if it's somebody's birthday, then she makes a big breakfast for whoever's birthday it is.
Is that a Libra? Is he a Libra? Is that a star
Mevrouw.
sign? No. This season. Is this Libra season?
I don't know. I think he's a Scorpio.
He says, ooh.
Yeah, he's a typical Scorpio.
Oh.
He's
all
triggers. Yeah.
Scorpios,
he shoots
otherwise.
from the hip. I think of all my children, I had the most headbutts with him.
I can understand that.
Because with him
Yeah.
and the Taurus,
Yeah.
with Shia,
Yeah.
who's the 16-year-old,
Yeah.
those two,
Yeah.
the Scorpio
Yeah.
and the Taurus.
Scorpio and Gemini ook ons
What-
we struggle.
What is Gemini? Which
The
month?
twins, the May June. End
May,
May
June.
to June, yes.
What are you?
I'm a Gemini.
Are you Gemini? Oh.
Yeah. And so Gemini and
So Geminis are also problems.
no with Scorpio.
Yeah,
but people
we need
say
to ask
okay,
Scorpios
let me be
if they have a problem with Geminis.
Okay, let me be
Yeah,
very clear.
alsjeblieft.
Let me be very clear. The two most disliked star signs in the horoscope are
Nee.
Gemini and Scorpio.
Most dislike.
Most disliked.
Ne?
Yeah. It happens to be Scorpio and Gemini. They say we have the most difficult people. And
No, Maria, I don't think you are a difficult person. I don't think you are a difficult person.
no, but there are. There's
Why
some
would people want to say that you, as a Gemini?
I'm such a breeze.
You
I bring
are
so much
alone.
joy into the world. Look at. I can't, man.
Ja, Jelle moet vir Maria uitlos.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
but Gemini and Virgo would get along. That's not a problem. That's
Nee.
why you and I get along. That's why me and my kids are Virgos. We get along.
Your kids are Virgos,
Yes,
that's what you
yes,
said,
yes,
eh?
my kids are Virgos.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, so Scorpio and Gemini, which happen to be the two most disliked star signs, are also the two that, yeah, it's kind of a
Nee?
yeah, it's not always easy. Obviously, I'm
Is there an
generalizing.
explanation for that?
I think it's more stronger that we have similar characteristics.
Nee?
Yeah.
Sure.
Except like we are air signs. I think I don't know what, I think they're different. That's a problem. Like,
What's a Virgo? Is it the air
no, I
or
think you
earth
are.
sign?
I think you're an earth sign. You
Nee?
air signs are Aquarius, Gemini, Libra. I think is also an air sign.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, those three get on very, very well, although very different. But I think air sign. I think they are fire. I think Scorpio is a fire. I need to check.
Nee?
But hey, that's tension.
Kyk, as ek nou kyk soos mevrou. Mevrou is she's a Leo.
Yeah.
And she's a Leo. I
She's a
tell
real
you,
Leo.
she's a Leo.
Yeah.
Very, very territorial.
Yeah.
Loyal. The little that I know.
Yes. They are loyal. Yeah.
But territorial and yes, they also have an ego.
They are,
I-
yeah.
I
So
let-
Scorpio
I
is
let-
a water sign.
It's a water sign.
It's a water sign.
I let my wife have her little ego moments. Okay, it's the worst thing you can do to my vrouw is if you forget her birthday. She will not talk to you for days on end.
I dated a Leo once some years ago.
Ne?
And interestingly, I find them like very loyal to a fault almost, but also overbearing. They're like very, like I'm a needy person to some degree, but I'm also very independent. But I feel like they're very needy, like, hulle wil alles doen. Like they don't have a personality outside of their relationships. You know what I mean? It's like,
Hey, jy moet my vrou uitlos. Yeah, I don't
I really,
appreciate
that
this.
was my experience.
Yeah.
And it's like, and they're so sensitive. Like in a sense, like as a quad as of, if you make a joke that's this, they get very sensitive, but then also how they express that sensitivity is also like very rash. Like amper soos 'n kind soms, you know, the way they respond to things, you know. But generally good people. But I'm just saying, it's like sometimes it feels like you need to coddle them like babies. You need to guide them into soms 'n bietjie stadig. Yeah, I see. Ek het nie so bedoel ek het. So, you know, I don't want you to be offended as nie, you know, because sometimes it's just yeah, nie as it but you know. But generally good people. It was a bit too coddly for me. I don't like too much of that.
Two of the most important people in my life
Yeah.
are Leos. That's Lazarus and mevrou.
Oh.
And
And Laz's wife is a Gemini, by the way.
oh, she's a Gemini.
Yeah.
Aha.
Yeah.
Yo,
No, but
Yo.
Gemini Virgos get along, so it's not. Or he's a Leo. Or
He's a Leo.
No, Leo and Gemini could also get. Like I said, it's not that. It's just. It's. I think it's a relationship that requires more work than people realize. Like when you see them as a couple, it looks easy flowing, but it's just a relationship. It works, but it just requires. Those relationships that require a little bit more work to understand, so that you're on the same page, so that you get each other. That would be a Leo and a Gemini.
It's you know what, when we started dating years ago, obviously the last thing I asked her in the beginning of the relationship, what's your star sign? You obviously maneuver through a person's personality, etc., and you start realizing that, you know what, we are made for each other, Tuva, or we're not made for each other. I mean, it wasn't like probably like years down the line that I sort of, it's a Sukavar. You are Leo and I'm a Virgo.
Yeah.
Let's see how compatible we are with each other.
Yeah, nobody really enters with that.
Yeah,
aspect,
but then again, I've had a relationship with a Scorpio in my life that just went down south. So
Exactly for you, I avoid them.
yeah, I avoid.
Means like, oh, you're so
This-
sexy. Oh, you're so hot.
yes.
What is your star sign? Scorpio. Okay, nice to meet you. Bye.
Yeah. As much as I don't try to live my life around
I wouldn't.
around a horoscope, but there are, in my little understanding, there are some truths to it.
Yeah.
And with what I've experienced with my Scorpio ex, I will never, ever be involved with a Scorpio again.
You know what's funny is like a lot of people say, oh yeah, you generalize,
Yeah.
Somebody even said he has star signs, I botch whatever. But here's the thing,
Franco
it's actually
Jose.
it's actually more intrinsic than we realize. Like it's not just your star sign is a Gemini, but then you'll find that that you also have your Mercury, your rising, it's a lot of things. For example, your rising could be an Aries. But it's a lot of things, and you could find that you have all these aspects of different star sign, in one, and that's the other side of what do you call it? Star sign? What do you call it? Astrology. That is so
Astrology.
interesting. That depending on where you're born, what time you're born, that's going to change other elements in your astrology. That's why two people that are born on the same day will not necessarily be the same, because they're born at different times, they're born in different countries, and so forth. So all these aspects play a role. But yeah.
Shalako says Scorpios are dangerous. Yes.
Yeah.
Franco Jose says star signs are botch. Estomi said Teshon Michael, we come in hot, straightforward, and humanitarian hearted. Okay, Des van Wyk is watching. Kanjengo, good morning, best people. Dion Chimsizzle, my bra, Tate Chris. All times I've been to Trusca, I only see him wearing like he's home. Yeah, that's
That's the
Dion,
culture here.
that's the
Trusco, though.
culture here at Trusco. Many a times I would go somewhere and people think that I'm on leave for that day. But then it's the dress code that I have. Shora Kawenji says, Asia, ons leeuws is baie faithful. Estomish Pisces men forget about me. Taishon Michael, Estomish, Aquarius, we rock, very sweet people. Thanks, Estomish, for the birthday wish for my son. Thank you so much. Didn't the health minister say you jab people need them? I don't know what. Okay, condoms. Yeah, probably that. Franco Jose, thank you for the cricket comment. Namibia Eagles will definitely win the cricket match against Scotland. The ancestors have spoken. Yes, thank you very much. Yeah, that's more or less what we have. Gina says, interesting. I need to read more about star signs. Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Go and do yourself a favor. I'm not saying you need to base your whole life on it, but I do feel there are some truths
All right,
to it.
Yeah, let me give you advice, Gina. So go on this, find any like go on Google, right?
Yeah.
And say comprehensive, where you look for your whole astrology, not just your star sign, but your rising and all these other things, right? And then it will give you, there are lots of websites where then you put in your date of birth, your time of birth, if you know, that helps a lot. If you don't know, you don't know, and where you were born. And it will give you like a comprehensive of, because it will also talk like romantically what you're attracted to, how you reason, career-wise, what the best career options are for you based on that. And it really is accurate for me. When I got that reading, I was like, it said I should do something where I'm more of like a teaching, like where I pour myself into people, where I take on that educator role, not necessarily a teacher, but a role. And I realized, like, for example, I do better as a news editor than I think I did as a reporter, even though I was a good writer or whatever, because I wasn't really pouring myself into somebody.
Tuva, quickly, we got about 30 minutes to go. Let's quickly get into what we want to unpack again today. Personal question. When somebody throws a topic at you, doesn't matter what topic it is, do you feel personally that you need to have an opinion about any or every topic that's thrown at you?
No, I mean, there are topics where first of all, I like to have an informed opinion.
Yeah.
All
okay.
right, that's just the first thing. So if it's a topic that's informed, I mean, I'm not well versed on it, and there are lots of topics that I'm not well versed on. I would rather take a back seat and maybe listen, ask questions, and then maybe go do my own research. And if I came back to that topic, it would be based on what I've researched and what I found out. So maybe I'll be able to debate you on that, right? And then there are obviously topics where I'm more passionate about, I'm more educated on, because I spend a very large portion of my time trying to understand, reading up, whether it's books, whether it's research material, whether it's whatever. Those topics I might have stronger opinions on because I am more well researched in those in areas. Those ones I will take on and give an opinion. But so it depends on the topic. I don't have to have, I don't think it's, first of all, I don't think it's sane to have an opinion on everything.
Okay.
That's just not, that's not a sane way to exist.
Yeah.
Secondly, it's okay not to know everything.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I think most people think they need to have. So even on social media, sometimes I'll just check what's trending. I won't necessarily give my opinion on if I don't really, I'm not well versed on it. I'll rather maybe just first assess.
The reason I'm asking the question is because obviously what we're going to be talking about this morning is a topic that, you know what, we've spoken about it in the past, but I generally don't really have a position on it, but I have an opinion on it, but I do feel that my opinion does not matter, because 2 days ago, as this issue around the abortion bill was basically heating up, as we were driving home, me, Mevrou, and the two smaller ones, I engaged them in the car because I asked Mevrou, luister, Mevrou, sê gou vir my, what is your personal opinion about abortion?
Yeah.
En julle twee klinkies hier agter. I also want to know, because Ayanda, you might be 12 years old, but
she might have an opinion.
She knows what is sex.
It's all she should know.
Yes.
Sex is,
She knows what is sex. She knows what is pregnancy.
Yeah, of course.
She ought to know what is abortion.
Absolutely.
She started off first, Ayanda. No, Daddy, it's wrong. You can't kill a child. You can't kill a baby. It's a life, Daddy. You can't kill a baby. I asked my son the same. No, Daddy, it's not right. You can't kill a baby. But if a woman is raped, or if a child, Daddy, let's say Ayanda, a man talks to Ayanda now and makes a, you know what, and Ayanda is pregnant, and then that must be aborted. Mevrou, they basically all had the
same
same
opinion,
opinion about abortion.
Yeah.
So I have to say, and I've learned a lot about what you shared with us here in the studio for a number of years, Tuva, but I still feel that, you know what, when it comes to life or no life, I still feel like I'm pro-life. But I would definitely advocate for abortions in certain instances. And it does not seem like I really can get my head around not being there. That is how I feel.
Can I ask why, if abortion is murder, as some people clearly put it, right?
Yeah.
If abortion is murder because it's killing a baby and it's taking a life,
Yeah.
why is it okay in the cases of rape?
True. And you see, that's the subjective.
Because we say kids are not supposed to be punished for the
Yeah.
actions of their parents,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So, and that's a question I ask a lot of people
Yeah.
when they say, oh, well, no to abortion. Abortion is wrong. Abortion is murder. Abortion is killing a baby. We can't have that in this land. But yes, continue to allow it for rape victims. I
Yeah.
said, what's the difference?
Yeah.
Is it not murder when it's the victim, when it's
Yeah.
a rape victim?
Guys, please, and as you watch the stream, you know what, we have a very shortened show today. Please comment, give your opinion and your comments as much
So what
and
is
as
your opinion on
fast
that? Because
as possible. And you know what, once again, Tuva, it becomes very subjective for me because no druk jy my in 'n hoek, now you're pushing me in a corner. You understand? And now I have to rethink again. Now I understand that, wait a minute, is it murder or is it not murder? Then in those cases,
can't be both.
It can't be both.
Yeah, and it can't change based on the situation.
Yeah.
Either it's murder or it's not murder.
Yeah.
And if it's murder, like I can understand. Let me put it this way. I can understand. I don't really like the word pro-life because even the pro-choice are pro-life, right? We care about the livelihood of a child that once they're born. That's why we advocate for abortion. We're saying we want kids to be born in an environment where the parents want them, where they will be cared for, where they are wanted, right? So that they can have a good life. So that's also being pro-life, right? We're just saying that it should also be the choice of a woman or a child should make that choice, or an adolescent girl should make that choice. In any event, I will take, let's say, a position. I can understand somebody that says abortion is murder, and saying even in the instances of rape, it's still murder.
Yeah.
And even if you've been raped and you fall pregnant,
State-sponsored murder.
that's the God's will, because they use mostly from the biblical point, right?
Yeah.
That's God's will. So if you fell pregnant while you were raped, you should have that child. Then give the child away. Rather give the child away, but have that child, right? Because abortion is murder. I can understand that because at least there's a consistent thought process. It's consistent,
Yeah.
right? What I struggle to understand is the nitpicking. When is it murder? When is it okay? Right? For rape victims, it's okay. For when the mother is in danger, it's okay.
Yeah.
But when it's a choice that you're making for yourself, it is wrong. That doesn't make sense.
But I'm just going to quickly just read to you
Alright.
was what somebody shared with us on a group,
Okay.
like a few examples. A house of a married couple is broken into while husband and wife are both home. Husband gets beat up, nearly into a coma, and the wife is raped. Wife becomes pregnant from that incident. I think abortion is valid. Is a valid thing to consider. This is what this person was saying. A 10-year-old daughter is raped by her uncle, brother, father. Abortion is valid. This is what he says. Due to another one, due to severe complications, thanks to modern medicine, is detected the child has 20% chance of being born alive. However, the wife or woman has only a 5% chance of surviving the birthing process. I think abortion is a valid thing to consider, given that all other possible avenues have been explored without exposing any of the two, the wife and the child, to any further risk. The last one, boyfriend and girlfriend, like you say, get a bit playful and forget to condomize, and woman becomes pregnant. I am sorry, but you are keeping that child. This is what one of the guys.
Thank you for that position. Can I?
Yeah.
I actually wanted to I like that you read all of that, right? Because what we found with abortion is the logic behind it is if you are careless, you should suffer the consequence of your carelessness.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That is
Yes.
people
That is my position.
that is yes, and it's a weird position for me, because are you saying that a bad decision
Yes.
should result in a lifetime commitment of raising a child? Is
Lester.
that what we're really saying?
Jay Salfat.
You know, it's like you're almost saying humans can't make mistakes, right? But we give ourselves the grace of making mistakes every day and learning from them.
Yeah.
But for women, when it comes to sex and how we see sex,
Yes.
if you knowingly had sex, it wasn't rape,
Why?
and you enjoyed it,
Yeah.
but you didn't condomize,
Yeah.
you should go through with that pregnancy, because that's what the consequence of your actions are.
Thank you.
But that's a really effed up mentality.
Nee.
You know?
Nee.
It's a really effed up mentality,
Jy
guys.
sal
I'm
hy kan
sorry.
dra.
You know?
Yeah.
And what we don't realize is, in all fairness, sometimes people, what we understand as rape is like the brutal act, right? The brutal act, somebody grabs you and rapes you, right? That's the rape we understand. But what we don't realize is a lot of impoverished women and adolescent girls, they don't have negotiation powers. They don't have the negotiation powers when it comes to sex. Meaning a lot of adolescent girls and women, right? I don't want to say have sex against their will, but they're not really in a place to negotiate when to say no and how to say yes. It's example like a woman that doesn't know how to say no to her husband when the husband wants sex. There's a lot of women that will tell you that you don't say no to your husband when you want sex, so they don't know how to say that, or to a boyfriend, or to somebody that did something nice to them, right? So for them, they don't see it as rape because it wasn't forced, and yes, I consented to it, but you didn't really have the negotiation power to say no. And then there's another element of rape that a lot of people don't realize. It's coercion. Coercion, again, is not rape. It's just like, I coerce you into having sex with me. So, for example, I take you to Etosha, just an example.
Yeah.
And I set up this setup. You don't really want to have sex, but now your negotiation powers are limited. Now it's like you are coercing the woman.
Why did you go with me?
No, because there's so many aspects of this rape culture that we don't, because we only understand rape as this brutal act, right? But there's so many aspects of rape. And even we're talking about still thing, where you negotiated to have sex with a condom. That's what you agreed on. And somewhere during the act, the condom disappears. It's called stealing. It's a criminal act in some countries.
Luister.
It's called penis envy.
What is it called, Kalfi? Penis envy.
Penis envy.
Oh, I see.
So in that instance, again, if a woman fell pregnant in such an instance, yes, it's not rape. She consented. Yes, she enjoyed it, but she didn't negotiate to not have protected sex. There's so many, but these are the complicated one. But there's another simple one, right? I have sex without protection. My intention was not to fall pregnant. I didn't think I would fall pregnant, right? Right? Maybe I miscalculated my
Excuse
days.
me?
Maybe I was
Yeah,
a horny
Maria.
bunny, like we're all humans, our
Yeah.
hormones run.
Ah.
I wasn't expecting to see my boyfriend that day. He drove into town. He came there. I realized I don't have condoms. He doesn't say, okay, net die een keer.
Net koppiekie.
Net die koppiekie. You know what I mean? And I'm
You
thinking, I
become-
count my menstruation, my cycle. I count my cycle. I'm like, no, I had my period last week, so
Oriel, bring thee asseblief.
there's no way I'm ovulating. So I have unprotected sex with my boyfriend, and I enjoy it. And I don't think of getting the morning after pill the next day, because based on my cycle,
Maria.
there's no way that I would be ovulating, right?
Maria, asseblief.
So you realize, no, there's really no need for it. There's no way I'm going to fall pregnant. And I fall pregnant, and I find out within the first month, right? Where now the medical doctors say, the argument is, when does life begin? Does it start at the moment of conception, afterwards? That's a matter of opinion, right? But the reason they say abortion within the first 2 months is because it's a low procedure. It's a low risk procedure. You can go get an abortion when it's legal, medical. within the first 2 months of the pregnancy, right? Go in the same day, go out the next day, and do a full recovery. It's such a low procedure. So now, by the way, me, Maria, right, COO of Informanté News, I have the means to fly myself to Cape Town and go have a legal abortion. And that's what happens in a lot of times. I can buy a plane ticket, arrive in Cape Town, make my appointment, go into a clinic, be out the next day, fly back to Namibia, continue my life as normal. I don't have to be stuck with a baby I didn't plan or neither wanted. But a lot of women don't have that. They don't have that.
Just a couple of comments quickly. Rihanna Jager says, most men are for abortion. They just don't know it yet. Wait until they make a mistake, then you will see how abortion is the first option. Rihanna, ek sê jou blok. Ek sê jou blok.
If you have...
Los ons uit.
No, quickly. Neville, let's just quickly say this. So let's say you're cheating on your wife. No, you're cheating on your wife, right? And the woman tells you now you're having this affair for months on end. And the woman tells you she's on contraceptive. And at some point with this affair, the condom disappears. And she falls pregnant. You could be your whole life talking about anti-abortion, but if that woman comes and says, I'm pregnant.
Wie het vir jou gesê, you must bring up that example here in the studio?
But you're not going to encourage her to have an abortion. Be honest. Just this scenario I gave you. Are you going to say, you know
Kalfie,
what? Just have a child.
Kom sit hier, Kalfie.
Are you going to say, just have the child? I will tell my wife about it. I don't mind having another child.
Yeah.
Be honest, Neville. What are you going to do? And that's what Rihanna is talking about.
We are leaving on the next plane to Cape Town. Kom ek lees net gou 'n paar comments. I quickly need to read a few comments. Esther Misha says, not all women's cycle is balanced, so men and women shouldn't rely on that chart. Maxwell Shiero says, one thing I know is that a lot of men will be pro-abortion if they impregnate the wrong lady, like side chicks and so on. Maxwell Shiero, quite trendy.
That's fine.
Yeah,
Gaan. I always say that.
Kinin Glovo says, clever. But there are also consequences to the number of abortions one performs. What becomes acceptable to society in terms of how many abortions one can have in a lifetime? Are we to have standards or laws individualized to one's perception and views on ideology and lifestyle? We have no absolute freedom to the wants of what life offers for anarchy.
Can I just say something?
Wag. Kom wag.
Okay, no, but I quickly just wanted to say on clever. There's still so many comments you have to go through.
Ek moet gou.
Alright,
Kom
go
ek lees gou die comments. Kom ek lees gou. What life offers for anarchy will be the order of the day, would you not say? Franco Jose, abortion should be equally treated like the LMAO community. LGBTQ women should have the choice to decide to keep it or not. Okay, Franco Jose, whatever. My opinion is still allow pro-choice. However, abortion should only be allowed if one is 10 weeks pregnant or less. Because that is believed to be the safe period. That is what Dion Chimsizzle says. Tayshawn says, guys, there is a pattern here. Men who got the Sputnik vaccine count 40 cause the risk of HIV now. All of a sudden, the weather is BMW. Stay awake, my brothers. It's a trap. Tayshawn, J40 Mujay. Yo,
Can I really just say something, right, about clever? And we've seen this kind of comments. There's a misconception that women are going to replace birth control with abortions. For whatever reason, that's really in the mind of people that once you make abortion legal, that women are going to substitute the family planning, whether that is using condoms, using contraceptive, using the morning after pill, and opt to go for abortion. So in their mind, every month the same woman is going to an abortion clinic.
That's story.
That's what's in their mind. But actually, go look at the data in countries where abortion is legal, right? Go look at the data. It's actually not what people perceive it, and we can just really look at the available data. It's not, for example, a country like some of the more progressive countries like Finland, right? Actually, abortion is legal And it is so low. It is so low. Yet unwanted pregnancies are also low.
You people are killers. Ek wil gou
In
hoor
South
wat Kalfie sê.
Africa, in South Africa, it's also low. It's not the way people perceive it.
Duitser,
Yes.
ek wil hoor wat is jou eerlike opinie about this
There
topic.
is a solution.
Okay.
From a man's point of view,
Yes.
vasectomy.
Jou hele jippe.
It's a 20-minute procedure. It's reversible. Then you don't have to worry about the abortions, the pills, what the women think of, and what other people. Vasectomy.
May I add to
When
that?
I had mine,
Oh,
I went
you
in
had-
at 11 o'clock,
Excuse
and
me.
at 3 o'clock, I was sitting in Joe's beer house having a beer.
And you function normally. Can you please
I have
put it
the
on
best
record?
sex life ever.
Thank you. There we go. It still works.
Exactly. It happens.
And can I say something,
Yes.
Kalfi? If we're going to
Sports
talk
model.
about, if we're going to talk like Clever says, if we're going to say women, it becomes anarchy, you have abortion regularly.
Yes.
Why doesn't anybody say a man has 20 children from 15 different, go get a vasectomy? Nobody's controlling
Exactly.
all these children that men are having from different women. So if it is going to be wrong for women to have regular abortions, then men should also be, the bodies of men should also be
it's easy.
state regulated. A man that has more than 15 children should go get a vasectomy. The
Cut
state should
it off.
impose it.
Cut their penises
Yeah,
off.
since we
Luister
are
hierso,
there.
nee.
Since we are there.
Luister. For some of us sane men who are watching the show,
Right.
moenie hierdie nonsens luister hierso.
If a man is at at a maintenance court from 3 different women and is not paying his maintenance for 2 or more children,
It's why are they so
compulsory
angry?
vasectomy.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, you see
Why
how
are the
ridiculous.
women always so angry when they get pregnant? we don't get angry when you get pregnant.
Wait till the state starts regulating you and making vasectomy compulsory. You see how ridiculous it sounds, right?
Like a hormone.
The state sanction putting control on your
It's
body.
your hormones.
What you can and can't do with it. It sounds ridiculous.
It's your hormones.
But let's start with men getting vasectomies. And then
vasectomies
we'll
for
see
men
how your
for
opinion
free.
will change. Yes,
For free.
Absolutely.
Vasectomies for free, and afterwards
Yeah.
education for free.
After the 5th child, you're getting a vasectomy. Compulsory.
I hope I could add some value. Thank you.
Vedi Kayere says, how do condoms... Nee, wie het gesê jy moet opstaan? Nee, sit.
You're part of
Ja.
this discussion.
Vedi Kayere says, how do condoms disappear? Abracadabra goeters. Please, it should just not be removed intentionally without the knowledge of the other.
still
Vedi,
it happens.
let me explain to you, okay? And I think I will just explain this. So this is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. I think one of the reasons that men do that, whether it's with your consent or without your consent, I know sometimes men have difficulty with, with erectile dysfunction. And if the condom is on, they somehow sort of feel that die machine werk nie so lekker nie. So as a result, hulle wil gou net die koppietjie nat maak.
You should come in.
Ja, kom aan jou bliksem.
We have a surprise for
We
you.
have a surprise for you.
Ja.
I'll go away now.
Luister, the show must anyway go on until
Yeah.
10 o'clock. So it
Come.
would be good that Koffie, you sit and then
And say.
kyk hierdie moerskap.
Hallo.
What's up?
Het jy weer gemis?
Wat jy
Hey, oh my God, I never thought Wow.
It's so strange.
It
Yo.
is so good to see you.
It's so good.
It's good to see you guys.
Nee, hier ons mis jou kou. Ons mis jou. We sort of try to avoid talking about you so that we can detox that Q-based detox mode that we've gone into, I think, the last week or two. Yeah,
A week
week and a half or whatever. But you know what? You just messed it all up for all of us now. For me and Maria and for the viewers out there by bringing your stupid face in
Yes.
here. Now we have to detox again tomorrow.
They are going to remember me.
The oops moment. Like, you know, when you're off the alcohol and it's like,
Yeah.
Ek proe net 'n bietjie.
I have to go back
Q,
to the
it is so good to see you, my brother. I hope that I think in the last days that whatever it is that you are busy with, you are busy.
It's besig.
Booked and busy.
Yes,
Busy.
besig.
Yeah.
That's what we want to
That's
hear.
good. I things are going well, ne?
Nee,
Yeah?
ek is
I'm happy to hear that.
Ek is bly mee, bro. We
Yeah, that's
are
good.
so happy for you, and that's the thing. You know what? We keep on saying, life will always take all of us in different directions, and we have been struggling to get somebody, a third person, that can fill this void or this gap that you've left. Maar is alright. Ons gaan aan.
I just want to read 2 comments.
Yeah.
Vedi says, Q looks so happy without us. And then Dion says, you guys mean to say that the prank is over, Q is back? No, it's not a prank.
Sê julle moer laat hy net daar bly in die lokasie daar waar hy is. Ja.
Do I look happy with my new girlfriend, Jerry?
All right.
Is daar nog comments?
Yes, bio comments.
Please
We were
read.
talking
Please
about,
read.
yeah, we're talking about abortion and whatever again.
Oh.
Maxwell says, gents, if you can't get hard with condoms on, gaan koop Rocky erectile pills and 6-pack Red Bull by Pick and Pay. 40 is risky, especially when you are not ready for possible consequences. And also
True.
when you're at the Sputnik. So,
Lees nog comments, lees
It's
comments,
it.
lees comments.
ek sê, can Cubase be our weekly guest? Bring him on the show for Fridays, say Maxwell. And then Raymond says, Neville, wat se advice gee jy? Jy het jou reputasie in die Tura, die Mavutus call you the 3-minute man.
That's alright. It's my 3 minutes. It's my 3 minutes. I'm having the fun here.
It's the best 3 minutes
Oh my
of your
God.
life.
Estomish, I don't even know if I should read it. Condoms disappear if Willy Wonka is small.
I'm Kurwanje.
Okay, and then Vanessa Guiba says, a pregnancy to a woman is perhaps one of the most determinative aspects of her life. It can disrupt her education, employment, family life. Because of the impact of this on the woman, she should be allowed to make the choice to continue with or terminate a pregnancy. I just wanted to add, a lot of people say it's not an unwanted baby. There's an aspect of that, right? Because they say, oh, it's an unwanted baby. If it's an unwanted baby, just give the baby away. It's not just an unwanted baby, it's an unwanted pregnancy.
Pregnancy, yeah.
And it's what people don't realize. 9 months of carrying a baby to term is such an emotional thing, especially when you don't have the support, and especially when the pregnancy is not wanted. I'm telling you, psychologically, that will mess with you.
But
So-
like Jens, I mean, if you've been with, I mean, for those of us who have children and who were there throughout the pregnancies,
how it goes.
I see ons almal, sommige van julle hardloop mos weg.
Yeah.
But if you've been there, you know that experience it's not just a walk in the park, just 9 months carrying the baby and whoop, the baby is out. So
And
I
let's
can
just
also
give it to a shelter, yeah.
I can also understand why some women do not. I mean, some pregnancies are life-threatening for a lot of women. Yeah.
And they leave you with things. Did you guys read some of the stuff that happens to you when you give birth? As baie goed wat hier gebeur.
Nee, ek word al gesê van varicose veins of wat ook al en I'm like, Kuruanji, now what did I do?
Lester, before I go, I'll just clarify this. I remain the same.
Yeah.
That my position is that I will support abortions in certain instances. I'm still not comfortable, even though I take the hypocritical high ground
Yeah. The inconsistent.
of taking my Mavutu to Cape Town for the abortion, which nobody will know about. Okay?
In public, you are
yes,
still anti-abortion.
In public, I am anti-abortion. You shall keep that baby.
As long as it's not yours.
As long as it's not mine, I am going to Grooteskier or wherever, Cape Town Hospital, and I'll have my Mavutu's abortion. That's my position. We are allowed one hypocrisy moment of our lives. And my personal one is being pro-life, But I go for abortions in Cape Town. I thank you very much. So, Koffie, come sit hier.
Hy maak sommer seker hy word nie even
Ja, jy sit tot ons show
Ja,
klaar maak.
jy sit-
It's okay vir julle.
Estomy says, okay, see you later too.
Ja, man. Ons check. Ons gaan praat.
Yeah.
Koffie, come sit.
Estomy says, this was a good surprise. Q, come back. They need you. We need you, the dynamic. Raymond Frame, Maria is that var ladies that grave wet soil. Or that is it crave. Okay, I think I want to say
Oh.
crave wet soil when they are pregnant, give birth to land grabbers.
I'm only getting that now. Did you hear that, Kobe?
Yes, I heard that.
My friend was one such person. I'm now waiting to see how the child turns out.
So the problem is these ladies who are eating sand, wet sand when they are pregnant. You guys are creating all these land grabbing problems we have in this country.
Apparently so. Maybe we must go ask the mayor's mother.
That's the reason ek wou gesê. Ooh, ek weet toe.
More comments?
Apology, yeah.
My house, Bolly says, responding to Vanessa Guibeb, can't find your comment. This is why we must teach our children to value themselves. What do they desire in life? When and how do they want to achieve it? It's also a more simple fact. Like I said, consider putting your daughters as they enter puberty on contraceptive. It's not to encourage them to have sex. I think I need
Oh,
parents to
come on.
really understand that aspect. You're not encouraging children
Please.
by putting them on contraceptive. Just like you're not encouraging them when you show them how to put on a condom. You're just
in
teaching
the
them
times
responsible
of
sex.
kings and queens, they were married at the age of 13, 14.
And so many of them died during childbirth.
Yes, of course, because that's come on.
But I don't get. We have an issue in the country, right, with homelessness and all these things. And
Yes.
there are so many kids on the streets, but we still have an issue with abortion. We have an issue with these single parent homes, and we still are fighting against abortion. I mean, if it's a problem of where we think that people are going to start just having abortions willy-nilly, then we can set the standards a bit high that you have to meet in order to actually get an abortion.
Yes,
It's like, for instance, getting divorced in Namibia.
correct.
It's not illegal, but it's difficult.
It's difficult.
Yes.
So are relationships.
Yes.
Relationships are
Yes,
complicated.
in fact, you don't even have to set a high criteria. You need to remember that the society we live in is still going to be stigmatized.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Abortion
Oh,
is
yeah.
still going to be stigmatized.
Yeah.
The same way people can't go to go get their ARV without stigmatization,
Yeah.
even though it should be so easy as queuing up at the clinic and getting your ARVs.
yeah.
Actually,
But a
if
lot
you-
of people rather die of HIV than go for ARVs.
Spot on.
Yes.
If you can go stand at a pharmacy for your pill,
Yeah.
you can go and stand at your pharmacy for your
ARV.
HIV.
But the stigma is why people don't do it. So you need to understand that even with when you legalize abortion, what you create is more people to have access to safe abortion. But it will never shoot through the roof because there's still going to be some communities that will still not go for it.
Even though it's legal. they'll
Even
be
though
like,
it's legal because of the stigma around it, even those people will still go through a pregnancy that they don't necessarily want, and become parents to children that they don't necessarily care to have, and send those kids off to their grandmothers to be raised there. That's still going to happen in this society.
Can I maybe just add a little flair to it, in especially in the white communities?
Yeah.
You know what I find always so interesting? When these pretentious conservative parents have a child, a daughter who's now 16, 17. These are church-going people, great examples in the community with a reputation that's just a little bit higher than what the atmosphere allows. And their daughter falls pregnant. How quickly they actually handle that thing, hush, hush.
Yeah.
Cape Town little trips.
Yeah. Ons het
you know,
camps by toe
oh, sorry.
gegaan. Dit was die
Nee.
weer was wonderlik.
She
No, you went to have an
She
abortion.
couldn't attend church this Sunday. She's very ill.
I had midterm. I remember in high school, a midterm. By the way, most of my high school friends from grade 8, most of my white classmates were on contraceptive. That's where it started for me. Where
The females.
realized.
Yeah.
Females.
Yes,
Yeah.
of course. But I remember, I think 10th grade, midterm, I remember a German girl from an affluent family also in
Right.
Swakopmund. She just needed to take a break because mentally it's just too much. The stress of school, Sabikita
Overwhelmed.
field. So she had to go to Cape Town or South Africa. I can't remember exactly where in South Africa to just take a breather. Because of this. Of course, it came out years later.
Yeah.
Years later that she went to have an
abortion.
abortion. But that's what happens.
Exactly.
But she can access it because she comes from an affluent family. She can afford. I'm not from an affluent family, but I can afford it, right?
Yes.
If I have an unwanted pregnancy, I can go to Cape Town. I can. I can.
So can't we have abortion clinics in Keetmanshoop? Because then you don't have that fuel expense
To go to Cape Town.
You understand?
And the hustle at the border.
Let's put it in a town where nobody knows us. Let's take it to
Come on.
Usakos
No.
or Varuru.
No.
All of a
Keetman.
sudden, Uzakos is seeing an
Then let's
influx
say,
of people.
and say, hey, kyk so what happens in Usakos, this in Usakos. As ons mekaar daar in die racing. If we see each other in that row, in that queue, shoop choops almal, you know what happens in Usakos stays there. Something like that, you know what I'm
And
saying?
the problem is many people, especially people who are sitting in decision-making positions, have like Neville's position, what he had like, abortion is okay as long as it
Not my
helps
child.
me. But like other than that, no abortions.
Not
no.
allowed. Not allowed. Hypocrites.
Yeah,
of-
so you know, I can go to
Listen,
Cape Town
I-
and go sort out my story in my
I
heart.
know somebody on my timeline on Twitter, because I know him personally. He's taken at least 3 girls for abortions.
Wow.
And he's paid for. He hasn't taken them, he paid for it.
Does he drive a BMW?
Come on, Neville Basson. This is initials NB.
He's paid for. So he didn't take them, but he's paid for, whether it was true or not. But he paid. He paid the money knowing that they needed to get an abortion, right?
Okay.
3 girls. But he's still anti-abortion on the timeline. Sometimes I want to call him out, but I obviously will not because I know him personally. But that's what I'm trying to say. It's like you're not really you're not really anti-abortion.
Abortion is okay to
You are
hide
pro-control.
your dirty little secrets.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You want to control women. That's what
Yes.
you are. You're pro-control. You're not anti-abortion. Please make a distinction. Because when it's your turn, you are very quick to do what's necessary.
Yep.
And where do they get this abortion pills here in Namibia? 'Cause like
What, the day after pill?
No, like abortion pills.
Actually,
abortion pill.
there are people that advertise it
crap.
on Facebook, apparently.
I'm like,
At
I've
what?
also seen it.
When can you take this pill, and when will it abort automatically?
I don't know,
after
but I
you've
just know
taken the
this-
pill?
this-
Yeah,
sometimes
I'm
it
not sure
doesn't-
The dynamics.
Oh man.
I work with a lot of I don't want to say work with people coming to my DMs like looking for support because they know my position and they know like it's a
Yeah.
safe space and whatever. So you really work
You
through
get
this
to
and
talk with a
sometimes
lot of people, yeah.
and sometimes just refer them to a counselor or something. But like I think the most recent case was about 3 months ago. Like I said, a girl in Yunnan, she had tried 3 times the same pregnancy, not
Yes.
the same pregnancy. When she found out, she tried, and at that point she had been conned out of about 3,500. She was just tired because she
Aye.
pays so much.
Yes.
She goes to one and then she gets a pill that doesn't work and then she thinks it's a fake one and then she tries to get another one and then they do the same thing and then so she had lost about 3,500 just trying and she was just like, Tuva, I can't have this. I'm second year Yunam. I can't have
This baby.
I can't have this guy. The guy's already denying he has absolutely want nothing to do with it. He's also in his like 3rd year, so it's just not gonna work. He doesn't want it. So I guess I should probably check in how she's doing. I don't know if she managed or not. But those are some unfortunately when the market's not regulated, they can also just give you fake pills
Fake pills,
that
yes.
you pay like $1,800 for.
I had a niece of mine who also came to me with the same issue. I think she also tried like 3 times, but now she was so traumatized because
Yeah.
I think every time she takes the pill, I don't know if they ingest it or they.
I don't know if they insert it or they take it
Yeah,
out. I don't know.
I'm not sure, but then it obviously induces some bleeding.
Yes,
No.
yes.
But then, like after the 3rd time or so, like she was still testing pregnant, and now came the trauma of what if something
That
happened
becomes
to the
abnormal,
baby?
The baby
yes.
now,
I
if the
have
baby
a-
gets
yeah.
born, I'm
Abnormal
sitting
baby,
with
yes.
an abnormal.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean,
Some
luckily
deformities, yes.
everything turned out fine.
Yeah.
But still, these are the sort of things that you leave open with this
Yeah.
unregulated industry.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Guys, it's rough out here.
Any more comments? Because I don't have the
Oh,
comments
okay. Oh,
here.
you don't. Okay,
Nope,
let me read
sorry.
some. Mahao says, I wish you could read Tini's comment of earlier, where he explained the parallel struggle between our personal values and the abusive element of seeking society to condone, reject matters like the one being discussed. We actually did read it, and I think that's what he spoke about. There should be a limit to the number and whatever. And I said, I explained that I think there's also a misconception that with legalizing abortion, that women are going to replace contraceptive
With
abortion, and that's not necessarily true.
No, abortion is not an easy thing, not even for women.
Yeah, it's not
It's not an
exactly.
easy thing for them to go
Yeah.
through either. It's not something that they're just going to jump at.
Yeah, and then Aramacha Usakos, good idea. The economy will boom.
This,
Abortion clinics in
Actually, that's what I was trying
Can you
Usakos too.
yeah, I know. It'll probably be the richest town in the country soon.
Yeah.
Ze gaan julle nie swak op die
I'll build a hotel where the family can stay.
Oh, apparently I struggle with Muhau. It's Mahau. It's Mahau. It's Muhau. So
Muhau,
sorry.
yeah.
Yeah, Muhau, not Mahau. So sorry. Jenna says, are y'all going to talk about Mayor's comment on Twitter last night regarding a slay queen? Yeah, I saw that. I think I try not to give him too much airtime.
Who?
The mayor.
Oh.
Yeah, he came for some female politician calling her a slay queen and what. I know the first lady tried to engage him and say, like, those are gendered insults.
Didn't they learn from IMS?
Yeah. I all I wanted to say on this one is this, right? You can't say that you can't style your party or yourself, right, around a person like Thomas Sankara, an African great that supported and advocated for the emancipation of women. Go read up on Thomas Sankara. It's a very prominent thing in there. I mean, amongst other things, but
Yes.
women in emancipation is one of the big aspects. He was very pro-woman. You can't trying to say you're replicating the style of Thomas Sankara and then be a misogynist or a sexist.
Okay.
You are
Aren't you then a true
Thomas-
politician? Aren't you then a true politician?
Say one thing.
Yeah, just
Do the next.
guys,
Mean
don't,
like
don't,
6 others.
don't offend Thomas Sankara's legacy like that. The minute you're sexist or a misogynist, you can't possibly you say you're a self-styled Sankarist or you are not. You are absolutely not. Stop it. Stop.
It almost feels like sometimes it's clickbaiting.
Yeah, I think so.
Saying some of these outrageous things because you know it's going to get you some traction, but
Exactly.
And-
What
Hang
does
on, my
that say
viewership
about
is
it?
going down. What
Yes.
can I say just to bring it back up
Yeah.
again?
And it's
Did I-
made worse because I think his followers, I don't care if I sound
Just block him.
controversial.
Block him.
No. I don't care if I sound controversial, but it's the truth. It doesn't help that his followers are sheep.
Yes.
All right? So when he puts out this nonsense, it's just kiki, kaha, ha, ha, ha. Nobody ever says,
you can't say that or you can't do that.
you can't say this. Because that's the type of support, whatever organization, what I like about this feminist group that I surround myself with, we always call each other's bullshit out. You're not going to be one day homophobe and expect the squatiki to not come for you. It will come for you. Be like, what? You're homophobe or you're transphobe or you're fatphobic or whatever. They will constantly call you out. But what that does is it helps you reassess and reevaluate and
Yes.
take a more clear position. Now, if everybody is saying, yes, you're correct, even when
Egging
you're
you
dead
on.
wrong, egging you on, it doesn't allow you to improve because in your mind, you're always correct.
Yes.
Your mind,
Don't
you're never
believe what
wrong.
you think all the time.
Yeah, the hype.
Don't
you
always
fall into
believe
the
what you
trap
think.
of the hype.
Correct.
And that is a failing leadership.
And you know what then happens? When you continue on that basis,
Yeah,
you develop a very crappy character.
absolutely.
And I always say, look at somebody and then assess what character is this person, because then you know exactly how they think.
Yes.
Because whatever you think will become words. What your words will become your action, your action will become your habit, and your habit will become your crappy character because of your cuck thoughts.
Yes.
Sorry,
That's true.
that's
Absolutely
exactly.
agree with you.
Yeah.
If you
Absolutely
think crap,
agree with you.
you can literally look at him or her and say, you've got a crappy character, it's because of your thoughts.
And just to the followers, I think make a distinction about the elements and aspects of a leader that you like and those you dislike. You can't holistically like somebody.
Yes.
You understand?
You can't just be
The
on
Pope.
board with everything
The
they
Pope.
do. even when-
Everything
yes.
they do is just be able to say, you know, you're correct on this one.
The
I
Da-
agree with you. This is correct. And oh my God,
The Dalai
this is
Lama.
out. Yeah. Yes. And here you are here you are wrong.
You are wrong, yeah.
Be able to do that. And unfortunately, I'm going to say this again, like unfortunately with the mayor's following, and it's unfortunately the younger people who are more impressionable, they never really unpack a lot of what he's saying. They just follow it blindly. And I think there is no improvement in that area, especially when you think you got it all together.
Yes. Okay,
That's true.
that's the end of the show.
That's
it's 10
the
o'clock.
end of the
Cubase, it was so
show.
nice
Thank
having you.
It was nice popping in this morning.
Yeah.
I feel like we got to do something.
Yes.
Must I take you for coffee?
Yes.
Oh, do you want
Do
to
that.
take me for
Let
coffee?
me take you for, let me treat you.
Yes, let's
I'm
go.
sure I can, disappear for a little bit. It must work related.
Yes.
Work related.
Okay, have a nice day, everybody.
Have a
Thank you
good
for
one.
joining us here
Cheers,
on the
guys.
Morning Mix.